Hello, Trevor. Nice to see you.
Hi, Sage. Good to see you too.
Appreciate you making time to do this. I felt very inspired to invite you. After this summer, you did this great performance of kind of all the music you've recorded over your life. And it was so fun. And I think the funnest part was watching it through my son's eyes, who sat in the front row, was delighted through the whole thing. I can't get my son to sit and do much of anything. So he was definitely there of his own free will and his own accord. And it just really made me reflect on you as a person and your creativity and all the children and youth you have been with over the years and influenced with
teens and adults too.
And teens and adults too. Yes, I met you as a teenager, so I didn't see you as a child, but you were a big part of my teenage years. And you're just your spirit of playfulness and creativity. And this podcast is about love. And I am quite sure that playfulness is a part of that. Yeah, and that's been such a big part of your life. So I wonder where you might like to begin in terms of sharing with us kind of how you came to be the games man, or what the stream of love and playfulness, how it's got started, and maybe where it's at now.
Sure. I grew up in a big family. I have 7 siblings and lots of cousins, and we played together a lot. And my parents, my father's a minister, so we moved every 5 or 6 years as he got reassigned to a different parish, and they always made sure we lived in a neighborhood with other families. And in my last few years with my folks, we lived in a house with 4 other houses nearby, and between the 4 houses there was 21 kids.
Wow.
And we played everything all the time. There was always somebody to play with. There was always somebody to do something with. We played, baseball and kickball and all that stuff, but we also played hide and seek and built a 6-story tree fort and played badminton and sledded together because our yards were a hill that went down. We played all the time. And, we had an apple tree we climbed up in. We all had our own places. And we all would sit up in the tree and talk. So play was part of growing up. And everywhere we lived, there was always other kids to play with all the time. And I was never into sports, but everything else was just a lot of fun. So that's my early background. And when I was in high school, I think it was my senior year of high school, older sister Laura, who was going to UMass Amherst, took a new games class. And she came home Thanksgiving vacation and told us all about it. I said, "What? There's games that everybody wins? Really?"
That sounds fun.
I pursued it and started doing new games trainings. And over the next 3 or 4 years, I took 12, 14 new games trainings and got certified as a new games leader and was on my way to being certified as a new games trainer, which was at the next level up in the new games organization when the organization lost all its funding all of a sudden.
I was going to say, I've not heard of this organization.
Yeah, the New Games Foundation was
okay.
Big in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they did trainings all over the world. I constantly bump into other people who took their trainings when I tell them that I'm a certified new games leader. And say, "Oh, me too." So
the organization ended, but
it ended. But
you, and I'm imagining it's morphed into other things. I mean, people still.
It's a play movement. It's a play movement. Everybody plays. Everybody has fun. And nobody hurt is kind of the motto. And it's about inclusiveness. It's about everybody enjoying the activity. I mean, musical chairs.
Yeah. There's always somebody that's out at the end. Yeah.
Everybody's out at the end. There's 14 unhappy kids against the wall and one happy kid in the middle.
One winner.
If you just take that game and make it into a cooperative game, you got to fit the same number of people onto fewer and fewer and fewer chairs.
Right. So everybody.
It's way more fun than 15 people on one chair.
Yeah.
So it's a concept of including everybody all the time.
Yeah.
No matter what your abilities and that.
Mm-hmm. And do you find that it's still, it's interesting. This comes up with my kids a lot and my husband. Like they like the competition. Like the competition creates a. Do you find something else takes its place in new games to kind of motivate people? And
New games does not eliminate competition.
it doesn't. Okay,
It
okay.
just
It just morphs.
eliminates the winning part.
Oh, okay.
Everybody
Okay.
wins. I mean, some of the new games are highly competitive, but if you get tagged or if you get caught, you just join the other team.
I see. I see.
You just switch sides, and
There's
all of a sudden,
so it doesn't take away that element of kind
right?
of risk and challenge.
You know,
Okay.
a game of freeze tag, you can get back in the game.
Okay.
You know, I play a game of freeze tag. I run a weekly gym class for homeschoolers,
Okay. Very
so
cool.
I have the same crowd of kids, and so I get to game test on them.
Okay.
But you know,
And
I'm
had you
not,
taken that training, that new games training, before you became the games man at Fryeburg? Was that
um,
part of that?
it was very concurrent.
Very
I
concurrent. Okay.
started leading Flames games with the teens in my teens. When I was 15,
Oh,
we
okay.
just started, who wants to play some games? So we
I
did,
see.
and we started doing it regularly, and it became a regular thing with the teenagers at camp.
I see.
And then when I was, I don't know, 18 or so, my Uncle George said, "Hey, could you do that with the kids?" And so he asked me to, he was in charge of programming that year, and he asked me if I could lead an hour of games with the kids every night after supper so that they'd have something to do and would get tired out before bedtime.
Genius.
So
Genius.
yes, yeah, it was all
Mhm.
his fault.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, doing that has really it. I did the new games training sort of concurrent with the beginning of that through 17, 18, 19, ages 20 was when I finally got certified. So in the early days of Sparks games and Flames games at camp,
You were learning and practicing on
and being trained
regular
and
games.
being trained by professionals who had been doing it already for dozens of years. So yeah,
And has that always been your career? Like, has it just been games all the way? Did you take a break and
I never
work
stopped
in
playing.
work in a cubicle somewhere that I don't know about? Or has it
I've
always
had real
been
jobs.
yeah, okay.
Had real
Yeah,
jobs. I was a
yeah.
school bus driver. I was a janitor. I did that kind of stuff. I mean, I had a day job. I ran a daycare in my home for 8 years
Okay.
before that. So yeah, I had a day job, but finally, after starting time frames, I have to remember dates. Oh no, help!
That's all right. We don't need to
No, no.
know specific dates,
By,
but
by
here's a
95,
mhm.
right?
30 years ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I went full time, and I've been entertaining full time ever since. And
I
quitting
mean,
all my
it's
day jobs, closed my daycare. I had part time jobs, and I worked for Princess Amherst Leisure Services,
okay.
which
Mhm.
is the rec department in the town of Amherst, Mass. I ran all their after school rec programs in their 4 elementary schools 5 days a week. Helped them with all their field trips and did all the special events for over a decade. So, I had that training too, working with, Amherst students who are 10 years, 15 years younger than me bump into me and say, oh, you were the guy that led the. And it was those kids that called me the games man first. It's like, because I was 1 day a week at each of the 4 schools. And then on the 5th day, all the kids came to one school. So they remembered that games man and called me that. Today's our day with the games man. Yes. That kind
Do you love that identity? How
of. I
do you
do. I
Yeah.
do. Because it really is who I am. It's
Yeah.
really who
Yeah.
is I am. It's where I am in my life, and it's where I've been headed all my life. So
Yeah. What
it's,
is it that you love about games?
I love helping people be happy and joyful and have fun together. I come into some of the times when I work with adults, it's really, really hard because they're not used to playing together. I get called into corporate events where, for one time I got called into a corporate event where they're doing a really difficult training about an extremely divisive subject. And I'm not going to say any more than that, but I got called in exactly in the middle to do an hour of games with these people that were so tense and 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 It took me I only had an hour, and it took me the first 20 minutes just to get them to relax.
Sure.
And I had to do stuff that's easy and fun, and everybody does the exact same thing all together, and get them to work as a group until they would finally loosen up. And
I bet it helped. Did you get any kind of report
I
from
was
how?
thanked profusely by the leader the following day for making the rest of the day way more comfortable for the adults. But I mean, most of the time I'm in somebody's living room playing games at their parties.
Right.
It's fine.
Not as hard.
No, but every once in a while with adults. Never with kids. Teens, you have to warm up. Teens, they have to respect you first.
Yeah. Well, thinking about you in your tree house and with all the neighborhood kids, at that point, everybody's playing. When you're a child, everyone's doing it. And you have somehow found a way to carry that playfulness into adulthood. And I wonder what's helped you yourself to stay playful.
Attitude.
Yeah.
Attitude. I don't refuse to grow up. I just refuse to let go of that playfulness. I like growing up. Wherever I've been along my mortal journey here, it's been, this is a really good place. It's a really good place. I just wrote a rap song about aging well, and I don't like it when people say aging sucks. Aging is great.
I prefer that to the alternative. Yeah, it's good to be here. So many more experiences, and right, if we can do it without taking ourselves too seriously.
I take myself very seriously.
It seems like you take, I've known you a while. I do feel like you take things seriously. You take your work seriously. You take your gaming seriously.
Yeah. The professionalism is paramount.
Yeah, but maybe there's a fluidity in there somewhere, which is an interesting element of games because there's rules, there's structure, and then for the playfulness to happen, there has to be a little bit of movement inside. What makes for a great game, you think?
People like it.
Just the people like it, yeah.
Love to like it.
Okay.
Sometimes I play games and I always keep track of what games I play at which events. Sometimes I write down, this game didn't work. Needs work. Okay. This game needs. So it's one of those, okay, I do like the idea of this game, but the way it's set up right now, you know how with Monopoly, everybody doesn't play by the rules. The actual rules of Monopoly, if you play by Monopoly rules, the whole game will be over in an hour.
Interesting.
But the way most people play, it's a 2.5-hour game because there's very strong traditions around that game, particularly that everybody knows how to play it, but then
everybody has different rules.
What?
Right. But,
don't read the rules.
Yeah, I just remember lots of cheating in Monopoly in my circle of Monopoly playing. So
the concept of changing a game is really integral to my work.
Tell us about that.
I explore games websites. I look at games from other countries and other cultures, and constantly mining the field for new ideas and new concepts and different ways to bring people together. And some of the games are very culture specific. And if you don't understand the culture, there's a part of the game that doesn't work in our country. It just doesn't work. And, you have to know that this is verboten and this is how they do this. And if you don't know that, there's something about the game that just doesn't really work. And so I have to adapt the game to fit our culture. And game change is a standard part of all new games training.
Game change, being able to adapt the game to a...
What's the biggest problem with tag? The slowest kid always gets it and can't catch anybody. So change the game. There's nothing wrong with the players. Change the game. Make everybody hop. That's a simple, easy way. Make everybody hop. I bet you the slowest kid can hop faster than somebody else.
Yeah.
I
love that. So it's it's recognizing who's there, who's in the community, and then adapting the game to meet that community.
Shrink the boundaries. Make it so people can't run away with it so far. I once got called into a summer camp. Their rec hall had burned down, and they wanted me to train them to play games in the hallway of the art cabinet. It's like, do you know any long, skinny games?
Long, skinny games.
That's what they said. They called me on the phone.
I bet you came up with some.
Long, skinny games. I said, no, I didn't. I said, you can change the games you know to fit your space. And I did go in there and train them and give some ideas. But, play a game of tag where the person who's it has to be touching the wall all the time. They can't run across. They have to go around. And so everybody, that's...
So you have this great repertoire of games in your mind, and then all of the permutations, and then all of the feedback of all the people who played it over the years. That's quite a game computer up there in your... And that's one of the best blessings of getting older, right? You have all of that experience that you didn't have when you started. Yeah. Listening to you talk is making me think about liturgy or tradition. I mean, games have sort of that same kind of energy of stability and rules. And I certainly have tried to play games with people who have different ideas or rules, and that can become a lot of conflict.
Yes.
Do you run into that over in your work?
You have to agree to the rules ahead of time.
Yeah.
Some different people play games in different ways.
Yeah.
People have different, and when I have a new group of people, they say, that's not how you play that game. That's how I play that game. Let's play it my way first and see how it works. And you can play it your way anytime you want, but I'm here right now, so let's play it my way. My way isn't always better than their way, but...
Right. But to just clarify that.
Yeah, and you have to agree on the rules ahead of time. And, if you don't, there'll be problems in the game. You got to stop and then decide which rule you're going to follow, as we do in life all the time. All the time.
But as the games man, you get to define that at the beginning, and I like that. It's my rule. It's not the rule.
Right.
It's my rule.
It's my rule.
And we can. That's a nice way to think of
it. There's nothing wrong with your rule.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't like it. Maybe you don't like my rules. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm leading today. Do it my way. Sometimes I pull rank.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of what you're bringing is the rules and the structure to help people. Do you ever collaborate with other games people in leadership? So it's usually just you and the players.
I consider myself an entertainer, and I'm a solo entertainer. I have worked with other people in various capacities, but in my work, they're hiring me to come in.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. And then tracing this thread, you were raised by a minister, living in the church.
And a minister's daughter.
And a minister's daughter, also a...
ministry goes way back on both sides of the parent.
Yeah, two people really steeped in the Swedenborgian Church and the life of this community. And you are steeped in this community as the games man at Fryeburg for how many years now? How many years? We need to celebrate you at some point. There's going to be some kind of jubilee at some point.
It's been more than 50 years. I passed my 50-year professional mark a couple of years ago.
Okay. 50 years. Wow. Oh, so we missed the chance to jubilee you on the 50th. Well, we'll go for 60.
You think I care about
No, but parties are fun. Parties are fun. But you've been doing it a long time, and it's very much a big part of that church camp community is your games. It's very much at the heart, I think.
And here in my home stomping grounds as well. I'm very well.
Ah, yeah. I guess I just, part of this podcast is kind of opening up our view of church, thinking about what church is, and a big part of it, my perception is it's where love is flowing. It's where love is being expressed and shared, and certainly playing games with other people is a big part of that. Do you see your game playing as ministry? Do you see it as connected in some ways to what your parents were up to, or
my parents thought I was going to be the one who grew up to be a minister?
Oh, interesting.
Rev Trev.
What made them think that? Just your name, or did they have?
I was the one who spent the most time paying attention to the church and the teachings and the readings and the books and all of that stuff. And I went to a religious college. I studied sacred language and took all the courses about the teachings of our church, and then quit.
I didn't know that part of your story.
Yes.
What was the quitting?
I took all the religion classes and all the language class, Bible sacred language classes, and there wasn't anything else I was interested in.
That was the fullness of your...
I was done. And, my student advisor told me, if you'll stay one more semester and take 2 classes, we can give you an AA. I said, okay, fine. So I took a class on children's education and a class on something else. I have an AA.
And associate, I don't even know what an AA is.
It's a 2-year college degree.
2-year college, sure.
I was there for almost 3 years.
But the call of ministry or ordained ministry never really materialized, or did you contemplate it for a while?
It was in my mind all the time to go that direction, but various things in my life kind of
pushed you a different way. Yeah.
Pushed that aside and moved me in another direction.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
But I do consider what I do. This is my ministry. This is my ministry. I'm spreading joy and love and togetherness. And as far as I know, that's about what ministry is about.
I concur with you, and I love the freedom that it gives you, because I think there's so much of ministry sometimes is challenge. It's like we've chosen one game, and the game is going to be, we're going to have this liturgy on Sunday at 11, and we're going to be in the pews, and it's not a bad game. It's a great game, but there's other games. There's other ways to connect. And this sounds like it also has given you the opportunity to connect with really diverse groups of humans.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Do you have any stories for us of kind of some of the interesting humans you've been able to connect with?
UMass Amherst does a yearly Japanese teacher exchange. They send 30 teachers here. We send 30 teachers there.
Okay.
And they trade places.
Neat.
And they don't teach the others classes, but they do attend them and present in them. And they called me in 3 years in a row to work with this group of young Japanese teachers that most of them don't speak English.
Sure.
And so I had to learn to deliver the rules non-verbally.
I was going to say, did you learn Japanese, or you?
No, they did have a translator, so the difficult stuff. But I had to spend a lot of time ahead of time figuring out how am I going to teach them how to do this, because I don't want to talk and stop and let somebody else translate. Talk, stop, let talk. It's distracting and it ruins the flow. And I spent a lot of time ahead of time figuring out how to do it. And I don't know if you're familiar with Japanese culture, but they're very into American Westerns.
I did not know that.
Very into American Westerns.
Interesting.
I mean, it was. I don't know if it still is, but at that time in the 80s and 90s, when I worked with this group, it was huge in their culture, and every American Western that they could got dubbed into Japanese.
Okay.
And they knew the characters, and they knew the actors, and they knew the storylines. And I have a game which is a little bit controversial, which is called Quick Draw, where it's a partner game. One goes, stick them up, and then goes, ah! And you don't know which one the other's going to do, and you're trying to get opposites.
Okay.
And they love that game. When I play the game with adults, someone else, you should get rid of that gun game.
Sure.
It's not a gun game. It's a blast.
Yeah. Did you know that about Japanese culture before you played with this group, or did you learn it in the process?
I didn't. Okay. That's how I learned about it.
Okay.
I always play several partner games as mixers. You'll do this game with this person, and then get a new partner, and then do this game with another new person. So you experience different people all the way through. And they changed 6 times, so they are with 6 different people, and they just wanted to play that game all the time. Can't we do that one again? Can't we do that one again?
I imagine they took it home with them, and people all over Japan are playing it now.
They did.
Yeah.
The games that I taught this group for 3 years, the second and the third year, they told me which games they took back with them, which games the people that they talked to them liked, and where I asked them lots of stuff. So, yes.
So people have learned games from you through playing them. Do you ever train people?
Yes, I do cooperative play staff trainings with people who work with children.
Okay.
I do that regularly. So, yeah, I train daycare staff and school teachers and rec staff.
And when you train them, what are some of the I know there's the game, the technique of the actual games you're sharing, but are there like other, I don't know, ways of leading games that you try to convey, or things that work, or things that
skills? They teach them inclusiveness. You can take any playground game that the kids love and make it a better game. I say better because I think it is a better game by including everybody. figure out a way to include everybody. And I teach them how to explain the rules.
So explaining the rules,
My
inclusiveness.
style is tell the group one thing, have them do it. Tell them the next thing, have them do it. Tell them the next thing, have them do it. Don't tell them everything
One at a
they're going to do
time.
and expect them to remember it. Okay, everybody line up over there. Okay, now, okay, there's a game called Park Ranger. I'll use this example. In Park Ranger, everybody lines up on one line, and the Park Ranger's in the middle of the field, and everybody has to think of an animal. But don't tell anybody what it is. And I'll say, animals cross my park if you have 4 legs, and everybody with 4 legs has to run, and everybody else stays there. So in that game, I'll say, okay, everybody line up over. Okay, this game's called Park Ranger. Everybody think of an animal, real or fictional, alive or dead. Don't tell anybody what it is because you don't want them to know. Because if they know it, because if you get tagged, you join my team, and then they can tell me, hey, they're an elephant. So don't tell anybody. Okay, now I'm going to stand in the middle, and if I call something that describes your animal, run across, everybody else stand still. So I've told them 3 things, and that's the only 3 rules there are. But I've told them one at a time and had them do it progressively.
Yeah.
So I teach the teachers that.
Yeah.
Teach
That
the
seems
rules progressively. If I explained to you all the rules of chess, you would not have a clue what to do.
Go out of our brains.
Yeah, it's too much. So tell them one thing, have them do it. Tell them the next thing, have them do it. You can't do that with all the games, but you can do it with most. So
and the doing is so important. The hearing and the doing makes it happen.
They get it down. So I teach them, mostly it's teaching them the games.
Yeah.
But I also have like a 15-minute segment in the middle of a 2-hour workshop where I'll teach them leadership skills. I'll teach them game change, and I'll teach them pay attention to the kids that need attention.
Mm-hmm. And how do you know what kids need attention?
Oh, you know. You know. And sometimes this child just needs, I just get in their face. You know what I mean? What don't play. And, so I give them a list of one-liners that work to solve various game problems with children specifically. Okay. That also work with teens and adults. And
Can you share some of your one-liners with us?
I have a whole sheet of one-liners.
Yeah.
Oh, you're hurt. Do you want to keep playing or do you need to sit out for a while? And it gives them a choice, and they can fess up and admit how much they're hurt or not. And sometimes they're not hurt at all, just they want attention.
Right.
So
you're honoring that they're hurt, but then you're giving them a choice.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that's really what it's all about, is empowering the players to be self-responsible.
Yeah. See their role. What are some of the things that make games hard or make it hard in groups? What are some of the challenges that you face? Or does nothing make no challenges? I know you've been doing
there's always challenges. And it's the challenges for me as a leader vary from group to group. I mean, children are the same everywhere. And teens are the same everywhere, and adults are the same everywhere, but they're not the same as each other.
Interesting.
Okay. With kids, I just have to tell them what to do. With adults, I have to make them comfortable playing together. With teens, I have to get their respect.
Okay. That makes sense. How do you get teens respect?
Teens respect people who really know what they're doing. I have to show them I know what I'm doing. I'm also a stilt walker, and I have a stilt walking show where I do various tricks up on stilts. It has nothing to do with the stilts, but I'm on stilts when I'm doing it. And with kids, I do my hardest tricks last. With teens, I do my hardest tricks first.
Because then they're impressed.
And this guy's good. I once worked in a what do they call it? Junior high school. They have a different name for it now.
Middle school.
Middle school, correct. In the middle school, it was 6th through 9th graders, and the vice principal is the person who hired me. He was talking to me behind stage while I was putting my stilts on, and he told me afterwards, talking with you behind stage before the show, I thought these kids were going to tear you apart. But you actually handled them really well, and they all had a really good time. And it's because I went out there and was myself with my goofy hat, my bright colored clothing, not looking anything like they look, and impressed them with a really hard trick. I just did a really hard trick first. Buddy Rich said there's 2 kinds of drum solos. ones that look easy but are hard to do, and ones that look hard but are easy to do. Guess which one I do?
The ones that are easy but look hard?
Look hard, correct. So I did my hardest looking trick for them, and after that they would do everything I asked.
Now they were mesmerized.
Yes.
That's really interesting. That sheds a lot of light on the psychology of children and teens and adults. What helps adults to feel comfortable, you think?
Adults need to know that it's okay to be goofy if required. You can't play a game where they're making a quacking sound, but at the end you can.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning, I think I said this earlier, you want them all to be doing the same thing at the same time.
So nobody's sort of standing out.
Yeah, so that no individual person's like, whoa, they're paying attention to me. No, they're looking at me. No, help. And with adults, they don't really want that, except the ones that need attention. So, who's the leader? I don't know if you're familiar with the game Who's the Leader. It used to be called Indian Chief, but we don't call it that. Who's the leader?
Okay.
One person's the leader. I need a volunteer. Who wants attention? I don't say that. We need a volunteer.
But usually that's who will raise their hand.
Who needs attention raises their hand. So I call a person up to the front, ask them to close their eyes. We pick one person in the group to be the leader. Everybody imitates the leader, and the person opens up their eyes and has to figure out who's the leader. So everybody's doing the exact same thing as everybody else, and one person who needs attention is paying attention. And so everybody's working together, and they're trying to trick this person into not knowing who it is. So, no, I'm not looking at anybody. And adults are like that. Adults can be really tricky. So
yeah.
So everybody's doing the same thing at the same time, and that will warm adults up. And the leader, of course, is doing goofy stuff, so they all have to do it, but they're all doing it together.
Simultaneously.
Everybody's going, rah, rah, rah. So it's okay to do that. And once we've played that game, they're ready.
They're warmed up.
Yeah,
I'm ready to open up.
With a few groups, it takes a couple more.
And I know sometimes we mix things up at Fryeburg, but do you ever lead games for intergenerational groups?
Every once in a while, they ask me to do that, and they do it, but I don't volunteer it.
Is it not your preferred?
No, it's not that. It's that I'm the activities director there, and I don't want to be front and center all the time. I want to let other people shine.
But you enjoy leading from, I was wondering if there were different challenges with all ages then.
Yes. Earlier on in my career, when I first developed my stage show, I did it a couple years at camp. And it was a lot of fun. And I mean, I'm a fixture there, and I was, I've tried to do a couple other kind of things like that, and very few people showed up in the last 10, 15 years. Each time I tried to do that. But you mentioned my concert at the beginning. It's like, everybody showed up for that, because that's something different. They already know what I do. Why would they want to do more of that? So,
well, it was so nice to see a different side of you. And has your music, I mean, it sounds like it's always been a part of your life, because of some of those songs you wrote years and years ago, but you haven't really performed music regularly?
No, music is a huge part of my life, but it's always been a hobby. I've been writing songs since I was 18. I tried to pick a series of songs through my life for that particular concert, and I had to leave some songs out because
there were more than you could have included. So it was always for yourself.
I have close to 100 songs under my belt.
Oh, would you perform them like for just friends and family, or it was just you and your bedroom?
Recently, the reason I did that concert stage is because recently I've gotten back into my I was away from my music for a long time. I'd sit down the piano and plunk every once in a while at a camp when we have a party in the in Frank Hall, which is the adult lounge. There's a piano in there. I'd always sit down and play, and I was really rusty, and I was doing a mediocre job, and nobody's listening because they're all talking anyways.
Yeah.
But starting in January of this year, I started going to open mics, and I've been going to open mics every week and sing songs, and I haven't done any repeats yet. I've been working through my entire repertoire, not serially, but remembering these songs and presenting to a group of people. And
what do you think got you back into it?
Well, about 5 years ago, 6 now, right when COVID started, March 20,
We remember, yes.
right when COVID started, there was a group of people in Montague, Massachusetts, who said, "Hey, we really like to sing. Can we just get together and sing in a really, really big 20 feet apart circle? Can we just do it?" So they asked like a dozen of their friends, and they all said, "Sure." So they got together and they stood in someone's driveway, 20 feet apart, big, huge, monstrous circle, and sang songs together a cappella for an hour. And there was nothing else. You couldn't do anything else. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything. And they said, "That was really good. Who wants to do it tomorrow?" So they did it again tomorrow, and maybe the next day, and the next day. And you know what? They've been doing it every single year, every single day for over 5 years now. They've been
And it's still going.
together. It's still going. It meets on the town common in Montague, Massachusetts, every single day at 2:00, and they sing a cappella for an hour. You know, there's about 50 people on the mailing list, and on any given day, 2 might show up, or 25 might show up. You never know. It's just whoever shows up to sing. But every single day, people show up and sing. I have a good friend who's a singer, professional singer, and he brought me to that in November of 2021. I was making it a point to have a one-on-one with people at the tail end of COVID there. Do something outdoors that we still had to mask up, but we could go on a hike together.
Yeah.
And he said, "I want to bring you to this thing after our hike." So we did, and I've been going 2 or 3 times a week ever since.
Ever since.
I
mean, to me, that sounds like church, Trevor.
It's an amazing community of people who, a few of them are professional singers. One of them has a music ministry. A couple people are teachers, so they're good at leading, but it's a leaderless group, and it's like, who wants to sing something? What do you want to sing? Who's got a song? And sometimes we just sit there and everybody looks at the sky for a couple and says, but this stuff. So we sing that.
Yeah.
So I learned this whole new repertoire of songs, and I presented them a few of mine. One day, a new person was there, and just off the cuff, this person said, "There's no songs about." We were singing songs about flowers. You get on the theme, and it reminds someone of a new flower song and another.
Sure,
so we're singing like 4 or 5 flower songs. And this person says, "Yeah, but there's no songs about gardens." So we sang 3 songs in a row about gardens. He said, "This is the kind of person that needs a challenge." He said, "Okay, fine. There's no songs about hippopotamuses." So we sang 3 songs about hippopotamuses, because there are, of course. And he said, "Fine, but there's no songs about gardens and hippopotamuses." And that stumped the group. So on my bike ride home, I wrote one. And it's called "Hippos in My Garden," and it's I
remember it. And you played it in your concert, I believe.
I did. I sang it in concerts. The crowd sings a lot. It's very popular, and so this group has sparked me to get back to writing songs again. And I've been writing a song every 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months now since then. In January, I decided I need to practice. No. I'll tell you why I started practicing. Had a birthday party, invited all sorts of friends, including a lot of musicians, of course. And this one person whose wife used to live across the street from us, who's an upright bass player, her husband is a jazz DJ. He has a radio show, local radio. I was playing a piano tune and said, "Oh, will you come play that live at my show?" I'm like, "Sure, but I have to practice it because I can't play it straight through without mistakes." He said, "Well, just let me know when
you're ready."
Let me know when you're ready. I said, "Well, it might take months and months and months because I am so out of practice." So I started practicing in January.
I love it. I love hearing the way that the invitations, open things up for you.
That is
a friend inviting you to a concert, inviting you to play, and inviting you to lead games at Fryeburg. Sounds like there's been a lot of invitations.
Like you, I go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's where something is leading me. I call it providence. I don't believe in coincidence, but
yeah. It's a deep part of our theology, and practicing it is a little different because sometimes we can
don't go everywhere they push me. No.
Yeah.
So
There is something moving us, and to be open to the invitation, I guess. To
yeah,
have an open enough open enough heart to see when the invitations might be there, and then to go and to be. I mean, I imagine you get a little nervous accepting all these invitations. Were you nervous when you played on the jazz station, or
I haven't
was that
done
a
it yet.
part of? Yeah. Oh, you haven't done it yet. You're still practicing. Well, let us know when you're going to be up there, and we'll share it so people can listen.
It took me about 6 months of playing before I got my piano chops back. And
Yeah.
it took
Yeah.
me another 5 or 6 months before I felt like I could mostly play this song without mistakes. But I have to be able to play it all the way through without mistakes every time in
Sure.
order to play live.
Sure.
It's a one-time only thing, and it's going to be recorded and played over and over and over and over. And over.
Right. You really want to be ready.
So something you said just a few minutes ago brought me back to my parents.
Let's hear it.
My parents were extremely loving people and were loved and loving. And they raised us to be that way. And I'm not saying all my siblings are the best, blah, 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 blah. But my parents saw their job as not to raise people to be like them, but to raise their children to be responsible adults who are happy in their life. And they gave us all the tools that we needed and strongly encouraged us and loved us for who we are. They didn't, I mean, sure, they wanted me to be a minister, but they never pushed me that way.
Yeah.
They never pushed me that way. It was always my choice, and it was always where I was. And when I moved in this direction, they supported me in that. You know, all my siblings did this. They floundered for a little while, and then they found their place in the world. It's kind of an amazing thing. Your suggestion earlier in an email to me about what the concept of your podcast is really got me thinking about my parents.
I bet.
I talked to my lovely wife for quite a long time about this, and she had a very interesting perspective that, oh, yeah, I guess they are like that. I was so close to them, I didn't see that because they're my, they're just mom and pop. So that's how I grew up. But my parents wanted each of us to be who we are. They didn't want this person to be a doctor. Come on, you got to be a doctor. You got to make money. You got to blah, 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 blah. They wanted us to be who we are, and we all are. Every single one of my siblings is exactly who they are. And it made a huge difference in my life. It's what started me on my journey to right here, right now.
Yeah, empowered you to go with the flow and accept all those invitations.
Yes.
Well, and I love hearing that because I think both of them were very involved with the organization of the church, of the Swedenborgian Church, of the leadership and the theology and all of it. And they lived that out in who they were. It was in their being. And that's my suspicion is it's not just conveying ideas, it's embodying them. And they embodied them and empowered you to be as you are. And I love that.
My dad taught me you can have favorites, but you can't play favorites.
Yeah.
You can have favorites.
Probably important when you have 7 children.
Yeah. And, it's okay to favorites, no matter what it is. I mean, you can't help yourself.
Sure.
You can't help yourself. But you can't play favorites. I mean, my mom took that a little further. She had to say, "You're my favorite, Trevor," with no comma in it.
Sure.
So of all, and you'd think what she was saying to me was, but no, she said that to all of us. You're my favorite, Laura.
Well, and maybe, I mean, I don't know what it's like to have 7 children, but I can only imagine that having that many, it's like you really probably see the diversity of them and you see the uniqueness. If you only have 1 or 2 kids, you may only see your likeness in them, but with multiplicity, you really, I mean, it's.
And we're all, I mean, as with your kids, they're very different from each other, and we're all very different from each other.
Yeah.
Sure, we have some family similarities.
Sure.
We're all very different from each other.
Very different from each other. And that's very much the vision of heaven that we have, right? That it will become more perfect as there are more diverse souls that enter in.
Favorite quotes.
Say the your quote again. I was speaking over you.
Oh, it's one of my favorite quotes that heaven gets better every time new person comes into it. And And the people welcome and say, how do we ever get along without this person?
Yeah. And I like, it's like the phrase is that is also, it's like more perfect, which I love. This is like perfect is not static. It's
Yeah.
it's expanding all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want my kids to be different than they are. I want them to be more themselves.
More who they are.
More
Yeah.
who they are.
Do you feel like you're becoming more who you are?
I've never felt not who I am.
I was gonna say.
No, I'm seriously, I've never felt
Yeah.
not comfortable with myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
My parents instilled into us, be yourself, follow your own rules. Mom had a don't tell, don't want to know rule. If you do something that you know I won't like, don't tell me I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Follow your own choice, follow your own rules, and don't tell me if you know I won't like it. Just don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Interesting.
So
she knew herself enough to know, I don't need to know. I don't need to know all the things. I don't need to know where her boundaries were.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just need to know if you're following your own rules. Are you being happy? Are you being responsible? Are you being yourself? Are you doing what you know you should be doing? Are you?
Well, it seems as if you have many years, and I think your life is the way you've lived your life. I think more and more people want to live the way that you're living. Not that everybody wants to become a games man, but everybody. I think there's more of a desire than ever before to follow our hearts and to be creative in how this life can unfold. It doesn't have to just be one way.
Do what you love and the money will follow was written so many years ago, but it's coming truer and truer these days.
Yeah.
More and more people are pursuing their bliss and finding that, I'm happy all of a sudden.
Maybe, and that's the promise of heaven, right? That we'll all be our particular cell in the body of God, and that will create health and wellness because we're all doing our bit. And I like to believe that can start to manifest here on this planet even.
I think it has been all along. We're more aware of it now.
Yeah.
And we're also, with current everything, we are more free than any people have ever been before. I mean, first of all, there's enough people on Earth that if I stop farming or janitoring or school busing or whatever, someone else will be doing it who actually loves doing that.
Right.
And we don't have to have food production be slave labor. We can have farmers who love farming. So there's enough people to cover all the areas. There really are people who like being garbage. There really are. I know guys, I love picking up people's trash. Get it out of their house. Get rid of it. It's so cool.
Very satisfying. Very satisfying. Yeah.
Nancy and I realized several years ago that we really like cleaning because we like things to be clean. And the actual work itself isn't that, but it's so satisfying to get that corner cleaned up.
Yeah. So to feel to do the work of life in a way that we feel satisfaction in, and then if there's things we're doing that we just are doing because we think we should do it and there's no satisfaction in it,
or we have to.
Have you found yourself caught in that at different phases
There's
of life?
things I have to do.
Yeah.
There's things I have to do. Everybody has stuff you have to do.
Sure.
I have to do marketing or I don't get any work.
Yeah.
I have to do marketing. The work doesn't just come to me. Some of it does, but not enough to support my lifestyle. I have to do marketing. I spend more time marketing than I do playing. So, and that's just part and parcel of being your own boss. You have to do.
Do you find ways to make it enjoyable, or do you just
sometimes
give yourself
just plugging away
when you're done?
Sometimes it's plugging away. Sometimes I make it.
Yeah.
We call it. I'm in a performers guild. 6 other full-time performers. We've been meeting since early 90s.
Wow.
Yes, and one of my early mentors said, "Start a group of your peers." So I did. We call it the Rich Work. It's an acronym. It means rump in the chair.
Right. So just kind of put on that perfunctory hat and just sit in the chair and get it done. Get it done. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're getting it done so that you can get jobs, so that you can play games and you can do the things you love. And I'm so grateful to know you, and I'm appreciative of you being here today.
Well, I am grateful and happy to have done this with you. Thank you so much, Sage.
I hope we'll have plenty opportunities to play more games.